Next one, number 9, discussing changing the Oakland land use ordinance.
I actually have our code enforcement officer here, and I'm going to ask him to speak about this. Dave, what is yours?
Right, I come at a terrible night. Seeing we just had discussions about property lines. Well, running into some issues in town on some of the smaller lots on people that can't have accessory structures, which would be garages, sheds, them type of buildings. And it's mostly due to the setbacks. You get a smaller lot and you get 15-foot setbacks on your rear and side lines. Sometimes you can't get the buildings you're looking to put in there. My thought was, working in some other towns, the setbacks in a lot of towns are all the way down to 5 feet for that alone, accessory structures. Principal structures, homes, businesses, and that stuff, they remain at the 15. I was looking, like I said, kind of gets a little bit of leeway, allow these people to build these buildings on their property by being able to reduce it. That's really it in a nutshell. Like I said, a lot of the small lots in town, they just can't even build a one-car garage because the setbacks don't allow it. Unfortunately, there's still non-conforming lots from years ago because our minimum lot size has changed, but that's not going to change your lot that exists in lot on record.
Comments, questions?
This would just be a suggestion. We would redo the land use ordinance, and we'd have our first and second reading. We just want to get a feel for the council and entertain any questions you may have about this. And JJ, you're right, perfect timing, because this is where your property lines really come into play.
Is this town-wide or just in a certain built-up districts, or what do you think?
I was thinking mostly in the built-up areas where they can't do anything else. Because I've had people come in that want to build a garage and they can't because there's no room to do it.
Okay, as long as we have a map or something that shows us where you can and where you can't. Do we have such a thing?
We don't.
Makes it harder.
And I guess if we're going to reduce setbacks in order to, and this is something that's from the discussion tonight, maybe this is the time on these property lines that if they want to be reduced to 5 feet, that they actually get that boundary survey done. We leave it to them. If you want this garage, you have an avenue to do it, but this one boundary between you and your neighbor where you're going down to 5 feet, you need to have that done. And that leaves it to them. Do they want to spend the money for the boundaries to make sure they're where they need to be, or they prefer to go without it?
The question I would have, if you're that close, would it be limited to a single-story building only?
My thought on that is I did some research on like the maintenance, and the reason I was thinking 5 feet is so you can maintain your buildings. And the standard for ladders is 4 feet. Every foot you can go 4 feet up. So I was thinking if we put a ladder at the 5 foot mark, you can go 20 feet. So it'd be pretty much a typical building in order to maintain it at the 5 feet. Because if you had a 30-foot high building, you would be on the neighbor's property to maintain it. So we'd have to control the height at 20 feet, you wouldn't be able to maintain your
I
building.
don't think it's in your losses how far that has to be away. It depends on how much risk a guy wants to take, right?
Absolutely, you could hang from the neighbor's tree, I guess, but
My only concern was that right close to the line, I know if I had a place, and somebody put up a 2-story structure, I might want to have some say in that.
absolutely.
So
And it may be
you
something
want
we
to
could add in there that it is for a single-story accessory structure with a minimum height of 18 feet, which is typical for your garages.
What I'd like to add to this discussion too is other towns are doing this. We're not reinventing any wheel here. And this is for convenience of the people who live in this community, because like Dave said, there's many people who don't have the option of having a storage shed or something any larger because their property lines are too close, the property's too small. So I think that this will be a win-win situation for everybody, especially with putting, a rule in there that if they're going to do the 5 foot setback, that they do come up with the survey.
So, and what you're looking for is permission to go ahead and develop an ordinance that would go to the public reading, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'd make a motion if we proceed for that.
Seconded. Discussion. That would be something that probably would fit hand in hand with what you're saying. how does the surveying, or how should we tie the surveying into that if we should at all? But I think they do go together, and I think we should discuss them together before we review it. And I guess I'd like to have a copy of our current ordinance, if, you know, I know I've got one, but if you would just forward one to us so I don't have to go through my notebook.
Don, if you go online, it's right on the website, the town's website.
I
can't even go online to get our agenda.
We can get you one.
Motion's made, second. Go
Can I
ahead.
just throw something in there? I agree with it to an extent, but if I've got a driveway that goes right along the property line, somebody puts 15-foot high building with steel roofing on it, I come home, my driveway's full of snow from their garage. I ain't gonna be very happy. I don't have that problem, but there's people that would. So again, I think you need to be in there that's kind of, if you're doing that, you gotta make sure that both property owners are happy. Or if you've got a 2-story building and your neighbor's got a 1-story storage shed, and all the snow comes off the roof, and now he's got a 1-foot tall storage shed. I mean, I can see, you know, I see both sides of it, but I can also see problems coming from it too.
Absolutely.
Motion, so
Yeah, I agree. I think Harold has hit onto it. Although this may be a win-win situation, it may, the guy who's next door may not feel that he's winning if you put your shed 6 feet from his property line. So yeah, there's some things to consider. I wouldn't dismiss it out of hand, but we ought to develop an ordinance and take a look at it.
All good. Motion's made, second. All in favor? Number 11, please. We're gonna skip number 10 for now. We'll have to come back with some changes that happen. So number 10, to adopt changes to our safety committee meetings, times, and locations.
Our safety officer is actually, the chairman of the safety committee is actually here in the audience, and we've got we're going to need to have the schedule approved. The changes that you're going to be looking at is our meeting day is changed to a Friday. What we're doing is we're piggybacking on our department head meeting, and meeting location is being moved from the fire station over here to the Cascade Room. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to review these, but we need council approval to move forward with it so we can get it in the record.
I make a motion, you can go ahead with that.
Motion's made, second. All in favor? Good. Any further questions or manager's report? Do you have anything here that you want to talk about?
Nothing, we're just going to executive session.
Nothing?
Nothing on the manager's report.
At this time, I wish to thank anybody here in the audience have anything to say before we go into executive session. Ma'am?
Can I ask again that the Country Club Road be addressed with the gravel and sand washing down onto KMD? That needs to be ditched, because it's rained again and now it's all in KMD again.
I will talk to
ditches
Joe and
need
get
to
him
be
up
done
there.
up there.
The problem we're having is being short-staffed and this being a priority deal right now, but we'll get up there and get it addressed.
Okay, they cleaned it up quite quickly the last time. The problem is every time it rains, it's coming right back down. The ditches aren't down. And you can't see the traffic speed limit's not on KMD anymore. I know that's probably not our problem, it's the state's problem, but if somebody can go up with push pedals before I do.
Pull over and do it. Thank you to all of you. Now we're going to go into an executive session. Hey, section 4. See you guys. Thank you. It's got to, you do come there. It is got to be. What is it? See you more. Yeah, they are. Who's the king? Want to talk to Jeff? Way they did. I followed a guy from Massachusetts. All this was the first time through.
It's still going.
Oh, jeez.
We're getting all that.
I think it broke.